Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're doing something special for you, custom analysis, really digging into the Granite Bay, California housing market. We've got a raw stack of MLS data, the kind most people don't get to see. Our mission, pretty simple. We ran the latest numbers from the multiple listing service, the MLS, to get a really precise 30-day snapshot. We looked at 133 single-family homes listed between September 21st and October 21st, 2025. Active, pending, close the whole picture. We want to know, what's the real price of getting into Granite Bay right now? And maybe more importantly, is it a buyer's market or a seller's market? Who's got the edge?
Right. So we started by focusing on the 35 homes that actually closed during that 1 month window. And the first thing that, jumps right out is that Granite Bay is definitely pricey, but it's almost like two different markets existing at the same time.
How so?
Well, the average closed price was, get this, $1,302,231.
Wow, wait.
Okay.
The median closed price, the middle value was quite a bit lower, $11,130,000.
That's a big gap, like a $170,000 difference. Exactly. And that tells you something important. It signals that there are a few, ultra luxury, super high value properties pulling that average way up. So Granite Bay isn't universally a $1.3 million market for every single buyer. The median gives a better feel for the center.
That context is really crucial, isn't it? Okay, so for you, the listener, wondering what a typical purchase looks like around that median price, what does the data show us? What kind of house are we talking about?
Yeah, good question. Based on those median values, the typical closed home is pretty substantial. We're talking 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, around 2,991 square feet, give or take. And it usually sits on a decent-sized lot, about 0.34 acres, which is the median lot size.
Okay, 4 bed, 3 bath, almost 3,000 square feet. And the price per square foot, I mentioned that varies a lot too.
Well, massively. If you look at the raw numbers for closed sales, the price per square foot range from a low of about $249 all the way up to nearly $590.
Oh, wow.
Big range. But the median, again, the middle ground, settled right around $405 per square foot. $405.12 to be exact.
Okay, let's unpack the timing. Forget sticker price for a second. You mentioned the days on market, the DOM. The average was 70 days for these closed homes. 70 days. That sounds maybe a little sluggish, especially if we think it's a hot market. Is that number maybe misleading us?
It definitely can be misleading if you only look at the average. And here's where it gets really interesting. The median DOM is only 39 days.
39. Okay, that's much faster. So why the huge difference between 70 and 39?
Outliers, big ones. That raw average is heavily skewed by properties that just sat there. We actually saw one listing in the data that took 547 days to finally close.
547 days. Oof.
Yeah, over a year and a half. That one property is, it's a cautionary tale for sellers about maybe getting the initial pricing wrong. But the fact is, for properties priced right, this market moves incredibly fast. We found that 40% of all the homes that closed, that's 14 houses in our snapshot, went pending in 30 days or less.
40% in under a month. Okay, that paints a very different picture. That's a strong signal of demand, especially for the prime stuff.
Definitely.
So that speed suggests real strength. But what about negotiation? Are buyers having to pay over asking to get these fast-moving homes? Or is there still some wiggle room on price?
Great question. To figure that out, we looked at the closed price as a percentage of the original listing price. We call it CP % LP. Across all those 35 closed deals, the average came out to 96.63%.
Okay, 96.6%.
And just to be thorough, if you use the cumulative days on market, or CDOM, which is important because it tracks a property even if the seller takes it off and relists it.
Right, avoids gaming the stats.
Exactly. Using CDOM, that percentage nudges up just slightly to 96.99%, still right around 97%.
So basically, buyers are negotiating on average somewhere between a 3% and maybe 3.4% reduction from the list price. On that median $1.13 million home, what does that translate to?
About $38,000 in savings, roughly. That's not insignificant. Not at all. It's significant leverage. So what this tells us is, look, it's not some crazy extreme seller's market where everything is going into bidding wars and selling way over asking, but properties are still trading very close to the list price, and the good ones are moving fast. Buyers do have some negotiation room, but they likely need to be decisive and quick.
Okay, so pulling it all together.
Yeah.
What does this mean for you if you're thinking about Granite Bay? It sounds like a strong seller's market, definitely leans that way.
Yes.
But one where buyers aren't completely powerless? They still have some defined leverage. It's fast as that 39-day median speed is quick, but it allows for negotiation, with homes trading around 96-97% of list price.
That sums it up well.
Now, speaking of price again, you mentioned that huge range in price per square foot earlier from like $249 up to almost $590. That's a massive spread.
It is. And, this brings up a really important question for you, the listener, especially if you're zeroing in on this area. We saw in the data that the lot sizes vary dramatically, too, from tiny, like 0.09 acres up to almost 4 acres. 3.80 was the max in the closed set.
Huge difference in land.
Right. So given that massive variation in land, and think about the utilities, maybe custom features, pools, views that come with bigger lots, how much does the land itself, the sheer size of the lot, really factor into those high-end valuations? That difference between $249 a square foot and $590, well, it's clearly not just about the house itself. It's very much about the dirt underneath it and everything that comes with it in a place like Granite Bay.
That's an excellent point. It really shows why context and looking beyond just the averages is so critical. So use these specific metrics we talked about, that $1.13 million median price point, the roughly 96-97% negotiation factor, and that quick 39-day median speed. Use those to really inform your next step if you're looking in the Granite Bay area. Thanks for listening to Time to Buy or Sell. If you have any questions about homes in the area, we're here to help. You can reach us at Weichert Realtors Sierra Pacific Group, online at wrspg.com, or give us a call at 916-619-1971.